Take a look here. VegasInsider.com has listed the over-under totals for teams in the major conferences, so obviously no totals for East Tennessee State, UAB, or New Mexico State. This will give you an idea of what people are expecting from Tennessee's opponents. Now, they have Tennessee at 9.5 wins, so when it was Nico, it was 9.5, then it dropped, and now it's right back up there with Joey Aguilar. As Brandon Marcello said, he's going to be just fine. So, 9.5 wins for Tennessee. They predict Syracuse, their over-under is 7. Georgia's 10.5. The only teams that are better than you on that is Georgia. The only team better than you on your roster, on your schedule is 10.5 wins for Georgia. Alabama's tied with you at 9.5. Oklahoma, 8 wins. Syracuse, 7 wins. Somebody in there will surprise. There always is one. But, Bob Hodge, thoughts on the I put the brakes on so we could save it for now. And now I'll let you go.
I just think everybody talking about such a favorable schedule. Did you watch last season? And yeah, you only lost 2 games, and it was great. But you struggled mightily against Oklahoma. You struggled mightily at home against Florida. You still won.
But you won.
But now this year you go to Florida. You went to Arkansas last year. One of your losses was one. I just don't see this whole favorable schedule thing when you go to 2 places where you haven't won, barely in the lifetime of either one of my children. Mm-hmm. So I don't see how that's favorable. Georgia, I don't care if you're playing them in the gravel pit. So far, you haven't shown that you can compete with Georgia. So there's 3 off the top of my head.
Let's do that. Give me your losses.
I think you're going to lose to Georgia. I think you're going to lose to Alabama. I think you're going to lose to Florida, and then you'll lose to the team not named yet because that's just simply what you seem to do. But it wouldn't shock me if it was Syracuse because your defense may not be where it was last year and their offense is pretty good. Wouldn't shock me.
I got to get everybody else in.
No.
So, it's just the Bob Hodge segment.
You said wait. But anyway,
You've had your 6 minutes.
I think they'll lose 4 games.
Okay, 4. What do you think, Paige?
I think it might be a win under 9.5. I do like that Georgia is so early in the year. I think that makes it kind of really exciting. Has Georgia figured out their team yet and all their changes? Does Tennessee have its advantage with kind of a lot of returning talent despite being young? I think going on the road at Alabama is always an interesting storyline. Of course, you can win at home at Neyland Stadium, but I think maybe teams like that, those 2, you'll probably maybe lose to. And kind of like Bob said, there's always a team that surprises you that you don't think Tennessee's going to lose to, and you end up losing to them. So I maybe could say they lose 2.5 games.
Okay.
So
you said playoffs, so I'm going to say you're going 10-2.
Okay.
Because if they're 9-3, they're not making the playoffs.
Well, unless everybody else goes 9-3.
So you go.
True.
10. Okay. What are you doing?
I'm going under. I mean, some of those projected win numbers for their opponents. Florida 4.5.
Yeah, that would shock me.
Is that 2024? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So no,
Depends on the health of their quarterback.
Right. DJ Lagway, I think, gives them a lot more promise, and they've recruited better. They've been a little bit more better in the portal. They don't have the coaching question hanging over them. And then Oklahoma is another one that I would throw into the conversation as a threatening game. Yep. They added arguably the best quarterback and the best running back in the portal. They addressed their offensive line. So they'll still have a tough schedule, but that's another one that is improved off of what I think people are envisioning them to be.
I think the schedule's favorable in the sense that they can easily go 9-3, and you don't have to squint to see it. That's the thing. That it's not such a favorable schedule. You say they should be in the playoff, but most SEC teams don't even have a good path to 9-3 if they're not seen as an automatic playoff team. So I think that's where it's favorable. I think 9-3 is the most likely outcome, so I would go under on the 9.5. But I think the playoff possibility is real. You just got to win at Florida. The problem is they just haven't shown they can do that in more than 20 years. So I think they lose to the big 3, which fans would not be happy with this year, but lose to Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. I think that's the most likely outcome. And I think that is the one part of the schedule I really like. The toss-up games are at home or neutral sites. Last year, Arkansas and Oklahoma, both on the road, those were dangerous. To me, playing Syracuse and Atlanta is a dangerous one. Oklahoma at home, that's a big deal to get that one at home this year.
I think they got they cut a break in Syracuse, their offense departing.
Yes.
Quarterback, star receiver, that has helped because that's when if McCoy's not back or if he's not 100%, it's going to be your first game for your quarterback who will have never played in this system before.
Yeah.
He practiced and hadn't played in it. That would be a problem in my opinion. But the fact that they lost more than you did that kind of evens it. But yeah, all right. So we need to move on. I said 8-4, but for all the people who are going to say that's negative, I think it's 8-4 is a rebuilding year. I've already said this. I look at 1994. If this turns into 1994, when you found your quarterback and you found a lot of young players and you said, wow, we got the next 4 years, this is going to be good, then I think it's a win at 8-4 this year.